Marijuana continues to grow across the U.S. It's still illegal in Illinois, but many DePaul students and others are benefiting from medical marijuana. Good Day DePaul's Kelly Bowles brings us up to date.
Only 8 states in the U.S. have legalized recreational marijuana. On January 30th, Maine became the latest, bringing the number of states with some form of legalized marijuana to 28. During last year's election, the vote on marijuana was crucial in states like Nevada, bringing out large numbers of young people. Here in Illinois, the law allowing medical marijuana was passed in 2013. However, recreational use is still being debated. Lawyer Bruce Mosbacher's practice is focused on cannabis cases. Mosbacher is an advocate for legalizing marijuana and says the punishment for it is unreasonable.
I always say it's like chicken soup. Like, if they're not sending people to the penitentiary for chicken soup, why are they sending them to the jail and the penitentiary for cannabis?
In 2014, Illinois passed the Alternative Cannabis Program, which decriminalized possession of up to 10 grams of marijuana. The punishment was reduced to a fine of up to $200 rather than possible jail time. However, Mosbacher says penalties for marijuana in Illinois can still be severe.
If you bring in 5,000 grams or more into the state of Illinois of cannabis, that's about, you have to do a calculation, somewhere between 10 and 11 pounds, as I recall. That offense, called trafficking of cannabis, is punished twice as severely as we currently punish the offenses of rape or armed robbery or attempt murder. But trafficking cannabis of over 5,000, for more than 5,000 grams carries 12 to 60 years in the penitentiary. What were they thinking? That's just crazy.
In Illinois, on school grounds, possession of less than 2.5 grams is automatically a Class A misdemeanor and punishable by up to a $2,500 fine and 1 year in jail. Despite the risks, some students still use marijuana. A senior at DePaul, who asked not to be identified, says she uses marijuana every day and is waiting for her license to use medical marijuana to be finalized this February.
I've always been a good student. Never really struggled with school academically. I suffered from concussions when I used to play hockey, and marijuana just always kind of helped me out with it. Just suffered with anxiety, and it actually reduces your anxiety. So I suffered from that with a little bit, and I've just been using weed ever since.
This student is working to become one of the estimated 4,037 licensed medical marijuana users in Illinois. If you have such a license, you can possess up to 2.5 ounces per 14-day period. Meanwhile, studies continue to show significant benefits of medical marijuana for cancer patients and people with severe medical conditions, including multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, HIV/AIDS, and various others. Leonard Jason is a psychology professor at DePaul whose research specializes in drug addiction and use.
So I would definitely say medical uses of marijuana make sense, and there's a number of conditions where it has proven helpful. We need more research in this area, though.
Currently, Alaska, California, Colorado, Massachusetts, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, and now Maine have legalized recreational marijuana.
The state stepped up and stepped in and said the war on drugs is an abject failure. The war on drugs in California has been a war on poor people, a war on people of color, and it is time for change. And California now has sent that message powerfully to the rest of the nation. That is a point of pride from my perspective.
In Colorado, since recreational marijuana was legalized in 2014, the state has seen significant economic benefits from the marijuana industry. In 2015, Colorado created more than 8,000 full-time jobs and generated about $2.4 billion for the economy, with $996 million in total sales. Colorado not only legalized marijuana, but also regulates it. Each plant is tagged with a radio frequency identification clip that stays with it from growth to the shelves. Packaging is meticulous, and all product goes through extensive testing for contamination. Based on the Colorado experience, some believe that if recreational marijuana is legalized in Illinois, people may be more inclined to use it for a purpose, not just recreationally.
Can't sleep at night, you're nauseous all day, you have anxiety, depression, there's so many benefits to it. So that's what I think a lot of my friends focus on, they kind of go in there with a purpose, as opposed to like over here where I know a lot of kids that just, do it for a good time.
But some still feel marijuana is dangerous.
The medical marijuana dispensary behind me has not been open to patients yet, but has been at the center of debate for over a year. 41st Ward Alderman Anthony Napolitano strongly opposed the dispensary, voicing safety concerns for the neighborhood. Napolitano is just one of many public officials still hesitant about the use of marijuana in Illinois.
And others are concerned about using marijuana while driving.
And one of the sticky issues with legalization generally and medicalization generally is this driving issue. Just because it's in your system doesn't mean that you're stoned. It doesn't mean that you're high. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to operate a motor vehicle. It's a real problem because I don't want people on the roads driving stoned.
The other major concern? The gateway drug argument, meaning some feel marijuana could lead to the use of other, more harmful drugs or the overuse of marijuana.
So the reality is any drug can become over time dependent on it. So that, yes, there are some people who are very dependent on using their marijuana, and I don't think that's very good.
For now, recreational marijuana remains illegal in Illinois, but advocates like Mosbacher feel that will change.
And I think it's just a matter of time that legalization spreads, because and the reason for that is not so much because we've become enlightened in the legislators have become enlightened, because that's not the case. It's because there's big money to be made for the state of Illinois and the local municipalities from a recreational program. Millions and millions of dollars of taxes.
Doesn't cause, as long as I'm not hurting anybody, nobody's hurting me, like, I don't see an issue in it at all. If I eat it, if I smoke it, whatever the case may be, it helps me with my issues that I might have.
For Good Day DePaul, I'm Kelly Bowles.